Well, it's Friday. Didn't that other video turn out like a piece of crap? I'm not happy with it. Anyway, today is attack of the instrument panel. So the issue I have is it's quite tall, and I would like to drop it about where that little screw is right there, that part there. I would like to drop it down. So in order to do that, I have to cut it in here. Well, I just don't want another open hole in dealing with wiring and stuff. So I went ahead and built myself a tiny little tub. Now this tub, because of the wiring connector, otherwise I would have cut this off like this side. I'd have just zipped it off and not worried about it. So I make this tub, and if I get it in the right spot, I should be able to wiggle that connector in there. Looks like I have enough room. I can always plug it in and set it down, and maybe put a cushion in the bottom to keep it from moving and wiggling on the harness. I don't know what I'll do there. So that's one, and now I'll build another one, and I'll make this one not so big, but just as deep, just to keep it, because I have a good pattern is why. So I'll do another one for this side, and I'll leave like a 1/2 inch. So when I do this one, there's not going to be any conflict with making it fit, so to speak. And I think the plan here is to find the center. It's 14 inches wide, so I've roughly guessed where the center is. So 7 inches this way to about here, and that box won't drop it below the height of the stereo, so it'll just tuck in there nice. Same on the other side. There is actually an opening at the 7-inch mark. So if you touch the volume button, it stops recording. Okay, so there's the hole, and I think it partially pokes into there. I'm not going to worry about it. I'll be working around that anyway. So that's where I'm at so far. And well over 2 hours. Where did I put it? Oh, this. And another thing, I'm still TIG welding. So I'm gonna keep doing that until I get like, well, I'm on hour 2 maybe of TIG welding. Inside is not, come on. Inside doesn't look terrible. There's a couple little pinholes, but nothing that's gonna stop me from continuing. It's strong enough, it's clean enough, and a little bit of dress up, then I can paint it once I assemble it. So that's where I'm at. One side done. I'll get on the other side and do it next. Yeah, actually I cut 2 strips. And there was a scrap of sheet metal on here that basically everything fit perfect. The width of the sheet metal was exactly what I needed. 5 1/4 or something. Weird how that worked out. And then I got left with, out of that scrap, I got 1 strip that I'm just gonna cut a diagonal. And it actually works out to this, with a little tiny sliver left over. So I'm happy with that. Anyway, I'm going to get on to starting the next box, turn on some tunes, do some more TIG welding, and I'll bring you back in. Well, I'm not disappointed. What am I now, up to about 2.5 hours of TIG welding? Where's the other piece? Where did it go? I made two. Oh no. Where did it go? Oh, there it is. Yeah, that piece. Oh. I'm not a welder or a TIG welder, but once I clean that up, it's not bad. I had a couple little blowouts on this side that I had to fill, so they look kind of ugly. But for what it is and where it's going to be, now to help you understand, I'm cutting those into here. To accept the lower part of the instrument cluster. Oh, that one was backwards. So I still got to bend the flanges on that one. But so it sits there. It drops it the thickness of those boxes, which lowers it in the dash, which makes it more visible, and it'll fit where I want it. So I guess next is to see if I can determine where they go, mark them out, cut some holes. And if that's all I get done today, then I'm fine with that. And then I will proceed to start cleaning that up. I gotta delete that, which is fine. I might put a backup camera in there, which wouldn't be a bad thing to have. The rear visibility on this thing is weird with these mirrors there, so the backup camera might help me. What else? Well, that's it at the moment. The TIG welding, I'm starting to get an understanding of, well, wrapping my head around it, because it's just not something I normally do. But, you know, when you get the ground on and the gas going and you're not sticking the tungsten into the molten puddle, it doesn't go too bad. So, there's that at least. If anything, that's a high point for my truck build. Is the first time I've TIG welded. So I'm gonna do more just so I can get more familiar with it, because I've got lots of welding to do, and doing it with the TIG might just give me the practice I need. That being a DC TIG, I can't weld aluminum with it though. I'm just stuck with steel, and it is lift arc, so it's not the easiest thing. And still loving the shear. It's helping me out greatly. Anyway, I'm gonna cut some holes and set that cluster in. We'll see in a bit. Well, coming to the end of the day again, as always. My little boxes. I guess they're candy dishes now. When I started laying it out, I figured I'd be okay, but I wasn't thinking about the brackets for the brakes and the steering column. I figured I'd miss them. Now, if I'd moved it over to the east, I'd have been okay. But as you can see, I've done a little damage. So yeah, that's where that's going to be now. The headlight switches will go where that hole is below my light here. That panel, I'll continue cutting it out and scab in flat metal. Scab in as in weld in, of course. Yeah, so I'm a little disappointed with spending the day with those boxes, but I did manage to do some TIG welding. So for me, that's a win. Although I could have thought about this more. I gotta sit in the cabin and look at things as I do them. That's the problem. And I guess soon I'll be cutting the glass out. And what I'm gonna do is get in there and see if I can open up the ducts where the heat comes through. See if I can make more wind. What I might do is even try and roll this up so it's even wider right here, depending on what's behind it for slots for the heater. And yeah, that should take care of that. Yeah, at least I have somewhat of a plan to deal with now. And I just keep thinking about radiusing the corners and stuff, what I'm going to do there. So I guess what I'm going to do is trim it out more and then mount the cluster where I want it with brackets. And then once I've got it where I want it, then I'll build up to it with sheet metal. Try and get corners radiused. I should match that type of radius, which laying on the floor here, I have a perfect template. And I'll see if I can use that on the dash just to keep things sort of uniform. I'm going to try anyway. So on that note, I'm going to shut her down for the day and resume this tomorrow, I hope. So as of now, I'd like to thank you both for watching, and we'll see you again soon.